Well, hello and welcome back to Realtor Ray. Today we got an exciting video to talk to you about. It's going to be all of your questions about the 2024 real estate market, and where are we headed? Where are we going? What is the market, look like? Is it going to be a good time to buy? Is it going to be a good time to sell? Let's take a look. Now, the information that's posted here, obviously, as a realtor, I am not going to be talking about what loan programs or anything I think that you should be getting into. However, that's completely up to you and your discretion. But what I can talk about is public information and just kind of finding that and digging it up and bringing it to your attention with the light. So let's dive right in. If you haven't already and you don't know too much about me, I am with eXp Realty. My name is Ray Coburn, and I am a realtor, broker, investor, and I am connected with a lot of other investors. There are some groups that I work with on Facebook also, so you might see me here, there, and everywhere. So a lot of great things going on, helping communities grow, thrive, develop. As a realtor, I gotta say, it has got to be one of the best journeys that I could ever be on. I honestly never thought that I would ever be here, but I am, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to help my community, help those that are wanting to buy, help those that are wanting to sell, and get the right prices, and not too much, not too less, just kind of find the right spots and have that knowledge and expertise to be able to do that for sellers and also be able to negotiate for buyers. So, with that being said, let's get this out of the way and dive right into it. All right, so while expecting a significant drop in the home sales might not be realistic, the outlook for 2024 suggests a stabilizing market with moderate sales activity. This trend points towards a balanced market that benefits both buyers looking to make a smart investment and homeowners contemplating selling their properties. And so, according to Redfin, here at Redfin, they are specifically looking at where the trajectory is, where the market's headed, and where it might be going. This is all by ideal analysis that are kind of foreseeing and trying to pick apart where a lot of these markets are going. What they have seen so far, okay. The basic overview of the Oregon housing market, specifically in Oregon. We'll get into a little bit more national here just briefly, so just please hang with me. As I am licensed in the state of Oregon, a little bit about the Oregon, and then we'll get into the national. In Oregon, or if you are looking to move from whatever state you are to Oregon, just contact me. My details are all right here. And this is my number here, 949-891-4426. Again, 949-891-4426. Let's get right into it. So, what is the housing market right now? In January 2024, home prices in Oregon were up by 3.8% compared to last year. The selling for the median price, the median sales price was $482,200. Now that's up 3.8% year over year. The number of homes sold was 2,546. That's 7.4% up than the last previous year. As we can continuously see that the prices are definitely going, or the homes prices and the prices and the homes are obviously increasing year after year, which is super intriguing, because what does that mean for sellers? It means that it's a buyer and seller market. There are, depending on what city and state you're in, there's obviously going to be some type of need for housing, and sometimes there's just not enough houses to be sold, but there's more buyers. So particularly in those type of situations, working with a professional licensed real estate agent, knowing those markets and knowing what representation you're going to be in, whether you're a buyer's agent or a buyer or a seller, your agent that's working with you, or if you are an agent working with your buyer or seller, is obviously going to be crucial to know where your market's headed and how that's going to impact your representation and knowledge about the market to best benefit your fiduciary responsibility to your client, by providing that outstanding care as realtors as we are supposed to. So, with that being said, there is so much more details about folks that are trying to go at it alone, saying, well, I can sell my house all by myself. Um, you can. Honestly, you can. Um, and I don't mean to say that you can't, but you can. So with that being said, that you can. However, there is there is some tough sides to that. On speaking on the investor side of myself, working with, if I'm just sitting here, right, and I'm trying to sell my house, or I'm trying to sell a house or a property that I own, and I have maybe minimal to median knowledge about real estate market and what my house is worth. I want a specific penny for my property, right? As most property owners do. We worked it, we lived it, we raised our families in it, and we came back from our 9 to 5s to it. And so it became a part of our lives. And I mean our properties. And so for me, it would have a specific value. Now, trying to negotiate and why I want my price to a buyer, and not only to a buyer, but that buyer's most likely going to bring a professional, trained, knowledgeable realtor that's going to do what's best for them on their side to negotiate that price to benefit the buyer. However, keeping in mind that realtors acting professionally should always take into consideration fairness and equality for both sides, especially if there's not a representation, and just kind of understanding, obviously if you're trained and you have knowledge of the market, you're obviously not going to try to hit the rocks on the prices. You're definitely going to try to do what's best and fair to equal both parties. But your duty as a buyer's agent is going to be mainly for the buyer, and vice versa. If you're representing the seller, it's going to be for the seller. So just the basics on that. If I go back to me just having minimum or median type knowledge about the real estate market, and I have a professionally trained realtor coming to talk to me about the properties, and trying to buy it, I have to deal with that professional trying to negotiate with me for their client. Such as, can we get this fixed? Can we get that fixed prior to, before the sale, before the closing? Those type of things can be a little too much, and not to mention all the showings that the seller has to go through to get up to that point, to be able to show those properties, to market it, keep it clean on every showing, to be able to find a buyer. It can be kind of hectic. And so working with a professional, not saying that you have to, again, just by suggestion, if you work with a professional, the professional would be there to show your property, to market it in such a way that it brings qualified buyers and makes the whole process simple and enjoyable. Who wouldn't want that? And then marketing it for the fair market value, and or depending on the seller's needs, maybe sitting on the market for a little bit longer based off of that maybe higher price evaluation. Whatever you decide to work out with your realtor, completely up and between both of you. However, working with a professional is definitely, in my opinion, my consumer opinion, investor side opinion, would be to work with a professional. However, you may feel different, and that's completely up to you, and the choice is yours. Ultimately, the market is projecting in a positive trend. Now, what does this mean? The direction and pace at which home prices are changing are indicators of the strengths of the housing market, and whether homes are becoming more or less affordable. The median price of a home in the United States is currently $482,200. This is the median price of a home in the United States, not just Oregon. Now, what we do see is we do see an increase in the fastest growing sales prices in Oregon across 10 metros, and I'll just cover the five since my other five is kind of covered up by this video. So the first one is going to be Redmond, Oregon. A lot of fastest growing home price medians are growing up in there. Tigard, Medford, Gresham, and Aloha, Oregon. Not Aloha, Hawaii, but Aloha, Oregon. Although, almost all places in Oregon, no matter where you go, is going to be pretty greenery, pretty foresty. We got oceans, rocks, mountains, stuff like that. It's just a beautiful place to be, no matter where and what part you go with. And it's a beautiful spot. And so there's a lot of development here. House sales are definitely increasing. The Oregon housing supply. Now, this is really hard to get over for a lot of folks that are looking to maybe sell their house. Maybe they're just not ready. Maybe they're like, well, why am I going to put it on the market? And the rates are just, too high, or there's just not enough buyers. On the contrary, there are actually more buyers than there are homes for sale. There are a lot of people out there trying to make that wise investment decision whether they're going to invest now or invest later. Now, not knowing what the future holds for first-time home buyers or investors, a lot of first-time home buyers and investors are all, life goes on, right? And as long as life goes on, people are investing in properties. And they're wanting to get into their first home because maybe they had to relocate. Maybe they, got a job that just basically, can't afford that type of investment. With that being said, the number of home sales, the amount of homes that were available was down in Oregon by 5% year over year. So, not a lot of folks selling their homes, more folks looking for homes. There is a little bit of a housing shortage within Oregon, and it is because they are looking for homes and developers are looking for places to develop. Oregon wants to grow. Oregon wants to develop. And it's trying to find that sweet spot for it to do so. And I believe personally, on a consumer level, that may happen here very, very soon. Now, that is just pennies. It doesn't really constitute any knowledge or inside information. It's just an opinion. So, what does this mean? The direction and pace at which housing supply changes indicates whether the options for buyers are increasing or decreasing. They can also indicate whether homes are lingering on the market or being sold faster than sellers are listing them. There are currently 11,658 residential homes for sale in the United States. And that's according to Redfin, not according to Realtor Ray, but according to Redfin. And also according to Redfin, that the homes sold above list price, right? So this is where they probably got into a bidding war. And the houses sold actually higher than what they were listed for because they had, bring in your best and final offer type scenarios for the seller because, obviously the realtor listed it at a very highly competitive price, which is good. You want a realtor like that if you're a seller. And not so good if you're a buyer in a competing market like that. However, with that being said, homes sold above list price was actually 21.2% year over year. And as of price drops, we're actually 26%. So it's kind of a give and take here. There's homes that are being sold over list price by 21%. There's also 26% of homes that were lowered year over year, which can be a give and take. It all depends on the city and market that you're in, obviously. But we can definitely see the tug of war in the development, so for people that are looking to buy and sell. It's not like the market is just completely flatlined and there's absolutely no beat in the market. There is huge beats in the market, and they are making waves. And I feel, in a consumer investor side opinion, um, again, that this market will definitely show a lot more strength in this next coming year and this year coming up as we enter into it. And so, with that being said, the competitive cities in Oregon, top five I'm going to cover, would be Wood Village, Clackamas, Metzger, Jennings Lodge, and Marlin Village. There's also Green. There's also North Plains, Gladstone, and Oak Hills, according to Redfin.com. Now, again, all this information is straight from Redfin. You can check it on their website. It's public information. I'm just bringing it right to you. Let's see here. There is a lot of moving from these blue states to moving towards the lighter beige, brown, and orange states. So there is more folks moving from the blue state of, let's say, on the West Coast. We're going to cover the West Coast for right now. California, there more than 45,000 people were searching to move out of California state versus into the state. That says a lot. That says a lot. I mean, based off of the population of California, it's massive. But 45,000 people is not really a lot. It just shows a pretty good indication that, 45,000 people in 1 year, that's pretty big. Means that those folks that are looking to move out of California based off of jobs, family, emergencies, whatever, relocations, enjoyment of life, whatever their needs are, they're going to meet those by seeking employment or housing outside of the state of California. However, in Oregon, the number of people who were looking to move into Oregon was roughly equal to the number of people looking to move out of Oregon. So, in certain areas, again, it's just that the number was balanced between the people looking to move into Oregon and the people looking to move out of Oregon. Now, in Washington, more than 11,000 people were searching to move out of Washington state versus moving into the state of Washington. And so, Idaho, more than 4,000 people were searching to move into Idaho state than versus moving out of Idaho. Nevada, more than 5,000 people were searching to move into Nevada state versus out of the state of Nevada. Now, within Oregon, I must say that being an Oregon resident, being an Oregon licensed realtor, there are a lot of great futures in Oregon, a lot of great prospects in housing, a lot of great facilities that are here. You got mountainous ranges, you got mountains, trees, rivers, lakes, ponds, you got crabbing on the coast, you got fishing in the lake streams, and a lot of great activities, hiking and stuff like that, nature seeing. Now that may not target a lot of liking to those type of particular areas, not like the big larger cities, and so for that, Oregon also does have those big larger cities, such as Medford, Grants Pass, Coos Bay, North Bend, Eugene, Salem, and specific areas like that, that typically grow and have larger cities. There are smaller communities in between, which are also great. So just depending on whatever your liking might be, definitely check those out. And so 10 people were moving, 10 areas where people were moving to. There was Sacramento, California, Las Vegas, Nevada, Sarasota, Florida, Cape Coral, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Orlando, Florida, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Salisbury, indeed, not really quite sure what that is, but Hilo, Hawaii, Jacksonville, Florida. So just the top 10 there for people that were looking to move to those particular areas. And so again, this is just a generalized national view of kind of where the particular housing market is going. Again, we are not flatlining here. We are seeing a pretty good beat, it's steady growth and a correction in the market. So moving on, my particular website that I like for information is Realtor.com. For those of you that don't know, Realtor.com works with a lot of MLS services throughout the nation and is pretty reliable on their information. 2024 market or housing market forecast and predictions. Housing affordability finally begins to turn around. Let's take a look at this. So, as we look ahead into 2024, we see a mix of continuity and change in both the housing market and the economy, against a backdrop of modest economic growth, slightly higher unemployment, and easing inflation. Longer-term interest rates, including mortgage rates, begin a slow retreat. And again, this is according to Realtor.com. The shift from climbing to failing mortgages rates improves housing affordability, but saps some of the urgency home shoppers had previously sensed. Less frenzied housing demand and plenty of rental home options keep home sales relatively stable at low levels. In 2024, helping home prices to adjust slightly lower even as the number for sales of homes continues to dwindle. Realtor.com 2024 forecast key housing indicators. So now, mortgage rates. Again, I'm not a mortgage person at all, and so this is just public information. 2024 Realtor.com forecast mortgage rates are typically being seen around 6.8% on average. On the year end, 6.5%. Existing home median price appreciation year to year or year over year down by 1.7%. Existing home sales year over year annual total is up by 0.1% or 4.07 million is going to be the existing home sales annual. So annually, 4 million, basically 4 million homes have been sold. So definitely there's no shortage of or flatlining of anything in the housing market. There's no like major crashes that are going on and or projected that can be seen in Realtor.com's forecast. Now, what does that mean for you as a home seller? Well, it means that there's options out there, and 2024 might just be a good year to move when you want to move, and be that year that you're ready to maybe make those decisions that you might have been holding on for during the winter of 2023. The choices are always up to you, of course. So just kind of going along here, ownership rates actually looks like they had slightly increased. So the home ownership rates in 2013 to 2019 historical average was 64.2%. In 2024, it's projected that it's going to be 65.8%. So up about 1.6% year over year on that one. And then as we go down, we can actually see, and this right here is on 2024 housing market predictions for Realtor.com. We can see a stable growth. Home price is expected to dip 1.7% in 2024 as maxed out buyers lose their sense of urgency. So a lot of home buyers are saying, well, I'll just hold off and see what happens in the market. Maybe it'll go down, maybe it won't. As we can see, prices of homes are going up. The cost of having to rebuild is going up. So home buyers are being faced with, is 2024 a better year than 2026, 2028, 2030? When am I going to push the button to get that house that I've always dreamed and hoped for myself or my people? And so with that being said, that realization is actually coming into effect. Home sales barely budge in 2023, likely record low. So that's what Realtor.com is saying is that the home sales for 2023 was actually possibly the record low, which then will start to show that 2024 could also possibly be the climb out of the pit or climb out of the lows into getting back into an active market. And that's basically where we want to be. That's why you're watching this. That's what you want to know. And this is basically where Realtor.com is foreseeing this to happen. And so here we can see that there is a home sales expected to remain steady at 0.1% growing as mortgage rates ease. So in 2024, down here at the back end of it, you can see that the mortgage rates tended to ease over the course of those years from 2012 to 2024, being its going down into its steady pace. So it's not completely crashing; it's steady, and there are definitely beats within the market, which are good to see. Now, sustained improvements in inflation expected to bring mortgage rates down to 6.5% by the end of 2024. Now, this is just an expectation. Again, not by Realtor Ray, but by Realtor.com, and this is just public information, just bringing it to your information. So again, mortgage rates down by about 6.5% by the end of 2024 is what's projected, which is pretty good. They're looking at in 2012, it was around 4. 2013, it went back down to about 3.5. And then now it was slowly increasing into 2021, 2022. It started to go up to 5 and 6%, ultimately peaking September 2023. And now by September 2024 and May of 2024, rates would start to see a decrease possibly based off of the Realtor.com chart here. Shoppers find even fewer existing homes for sale. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. Even before the pandemic, housing inventory was on a long, slow downward trajectory. Insufficient buildings meant that the supply of houses did not keep up with the household formation and left little slack in the housing market. Both homeowner and rental vacancies remain below historic averages. In contrast with the existing home market, which remains sluggish, builders have been catching up, with construction remaining near pre-pandemic highs for single family and hitting record levels for multi-families. That's pretty nice. So basically, more constructions are aiming towards multifamilies versus single families, residentials. So there's more investors that are looking and seeking to develop multifamilies and making those rentals available as opposed to building and constructing single families. Again, Realtor.com information, not Realtor Ray. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So for sale inventory forecasted to fall 14.7%, but new constructions and rentals provide relief value. Valve. So let's see here. So there is for sale inventory forecasted to fall 14.7%. So here we're seeing this is the trajectory from 2012 when there was pretty large amount of homes for sale, and as of right now going into September 2024 there is less homes for sale. And so with that being said, we are definitely looking to see a little bit of a downward spiral when it comes to homes for sale. Now again, this could be sellers saying, well, you know what, no one's going to be buying my home for the price that I want it for because of XYZ. Now, whatever XYZ may be, this video is to help possibly enlighten or educate or inform sellers into the market not being as bad as they possibly think it is. I mean, there are buyers out there. 4 million buyers according to Realtor.com just in 2023, 2024. 4 million homes have sold in the United States. You know, and all it takes is one person to buy your one house, or one person to buy your one investment property that's a multifamily. Whatever the case may be, the market is not as flatlined as most may think it is, and I hope that this video has definitely shown that there is a beat in the market. And if you have any questions in purchasing or selling any properties in the state of Oregon, please feel free to contact me down below. My information and contact details will all be down below in the description. And thank you for watching. And also, please hit that share button down below, and so everybody gets an idea about what's going on, what we can kind of expect. And again, if you have any questions about real estate, please feel free to contact me down below. And thanks for watching. And until next time, Realtor Ray is out. Let's see here.